Hi everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell, and welcome to the center of Moscow, and welcome to another supermarket video, or at least a small supermarket. And we're going to have a walk around of a brand new supermarket that opened 1 week ago, and it's the only one in Russia, and you're going to be the first to see it on YouTube, I think. Let's go check it out together. I'm not quite in the center of Moscow, but I'm only a few kilometers away from what would be Red Square. And where I am here, some very nice apartment buildings and commercial buildings. And this is a very new part of Moscow, at least these few streets are. And you can see these are literally still for rent. And where we want to go is to see Yandex Lavka, or Yandex Shop. I'll explain a bit more in a minute. But if anybody can tell me about a BMW Alpina, this is a very nice car right here, and my car that I would love to own, a Porsche right here, and I won't complain about his lack of washing the car. However, where we want to go is this shop, and it literally opened 1 week ago. And I just noticed also it's a 24-hour store. So this is a supermarket by description. However, it's more of a convenience store in terms of the size of it. And we'll see that when we go inside. It's not very big. However, it's got a lot of things in here that are quite interesting. And I think most people, or everybody watching, including me as I walk around, find it a little bit fascinating, some of the selections that they've got. Before I actually walk on inside, I just thought I'd give you a heads up. You are going to see lots of food, and this is a warning: if you're hungry, look away now, or pause the video, bring some chips or snacks, and sit down to watch this walk around, because there's going to be lots of nice looking food in there, and I'm just giving you that pre-warning. On the outside of the door, it does actually say that the shop is open around the clock, and also that pets can come on inside, or at least they're welcome here. And then let's have a bit of a walk around. Now, there is quite a bit to take in, although it's a small shop. We'll get a nice look, and we'll see some of the things that are maybe unique in here, maybe not. Maybe they're everywhere in the world, and I didn't quite realize it until now. The first thing to take note of is the checkout right here, and of course there's a staff member who will let you pay for your purchases. It does actually have coffee and tea and some snacks, and there's a kitchen back behind the counter right there. And then there is actually a self-checkout on this side, and I'll show that a little bit later, because there's a little seating area off in the corner as well. And the one thing that's very noticeable in this store compared to a lot of other supermarkets is the amount of ready food or fresh food. There is actually some baskets for walking around, and they're prepared for people who are going to buy lots of food, I guess. And then first thing we see is lots of desserts, and not the traditional fruit and vegetables or what we'd normally see in a supermarket. Lots of cakes and lots of sweet treats. And then we've got salads right here, a lot of traditional Russian salads that we know very well, and then also soups as well. So these are pretty much for single servings. Maybe the bigger one you can get 2 servings out of. And then all of my actors are here today helping me out, and I have to pay them very well afterwards for being paid actors in the video. More snacks. There's actually some small pancakes. So a lot of these are either eaten at room temperature, or you can heat them up depending on the item. There's some sushi. So this is all designed around takeaway, of course. And if you live immediately nearby, nice and easy to grab something and take it home. Or maybe you work somewhere close by and you can take it back to work and have lunch. And then there's a bit of a mixed fridge here. So above each fridge there is the names of the different items. I think it's fairly logical what we're looking at though. A lot of the food in this first part is really designed around grab and go And this is a lot of the makeup of this store, is grabbing ready-made food and heading out of the store. Lots of sandwiches. And then the menu here for the cafe. So there's hot dogs, there's pizza, and then different coffees. And then there is actually some bread. And I'm fairly sure the ones on the bottom row here would be baked in store. And then these little ones at the top will be brought from a bakery somewhere in Moscow. And then the fridges right here with all of the cheeses. So there is actually some drinks. And I'll show these a little bit more later on. There's quite a lot of different types of drinks. So full choice of cheese. And even in such a small store, you've still got 25 types of cheese. And we come over then to the yogurts and drinkable yogurts. This is the one that I like to have, this strawberry one right here. My wife tends to go for all the other types. Classic bottle of milk. Now, the one thing I'm not going to do on the video is show pricing necessarily. You can look at the video, pause it. This is not really about the price of goods in this shop. It's really to show that new retail shops are opening in Russia and new concepts of stores are opening, and things are coming still from a lot of other countries. And this tomato sauce right here, made in Italy. And then you can see from Spain, there is olives, plenty of olives. And then there is actually a fruit and vegetable section. So there is a back door, I guess you would call it, or maybe it's a front door. But the fact that they're doing a lot of new build apartments in the area, they're not going to be using this back door as a point of entry. However, they've got all of the fruit and vegetables. Right now, all the stone fruits are pretty much the most popular thing to buy. Pretty much anywhere you go right now. At home, we've got a fruit bowl with peaches and nectarines. And then you can still get literally any fruit and vegetable you like. Right down to mangoes right there, pomegranates, eggplant. So there isn't a shortage of things. And very typically, where you go to a convenience store type of shop in the world, they would have a lot less fresh fruit and vegetables like this. But in Russia, it's very normal to have still everything available. And the classic Russian cucumbers and tomatoes, which are an absolute staple in every shop in Russia. So if I was to come in from the back entrance and I wanted to pay for something, the self-checkout right here, literally, you just do everything yourself, you pay, and you can walk out the door literally behind me and head on out of the shop without needing to go to the front register. There is some healthy foods here, or at least healthy snacks, muesli bars. I was never really a big fan of those. I know they're super healthy, but just something I'm not into. And then this is a little bit interesting for me because they've got some personal care items, of course, right here. And then right below it, you've got chocolate bars and candy and sweets. And the couple I want to point out here is Kit Kats. And these are actually from Germany. German Kit Kats. And then down here, they have British-made Maltesers. Now, they don't have a price ticket on, but that's not a problem. However, all of these brands that are not in Russia or left Russia, how are they in a brand new shop that opened last week? And the way you can tell that they're imported is they'll have a white label right here, which is the ingredients in Russian language that they put a sticker over the language of origin country. So that always denotes that it's an imported item. So yeah, tell me how this is happening. Now, being that again, it's a more of a ready food type of shop, a lot of refrigerators, eggs, of course, we know them very well. mayonnaise. And then there's even a fridge here with steak, chicken, pork, and pretty much one of anything. Very interesting here, they've got the meat from Miratok, which is actually a Russian meat producer. They're the largest producer in Russia of meats, and they actually have their own supermarkets. They're that big, and a lot of supermarket chains in Russia will actually get their products and sell it in their own stores. There's some sachets if you want to season your meats. And then we come around to seafood and the hams. And a lot of these things are in all supermarkets in Russia. A lot of things are very classic, everyday Russian items and very typical items. All the different types of salamis. They've even got bacon up there. Have a look. They don't do bacon very well in Russia, so sometimes I have to boo some places for not having that traditional looking bacon. There's the kids section with all of the kids food. Again, keep in mind as I'm walking around, this is a 24-hour store, and perhaps for people that live in this immediate area would be the prime shopper or people who would work somewhere close by. I mean, I wouldn't come here because it's a long way from where I live. I've come specially to see this store and to make a video for everybody. And then again, we can see that Italian diced or chopped tomatoes. Use that in pasta or pizza. And even more pasta ingredients. And we can't go past the classic instant noodles in Russia. Absolutely every shop in Russia has them. There's even my wife's favorite rice right here. And then you've got a frozen section. And very typically they aren't very big in Russia. There is quite a few fridges in this store because of the convenience factor of it. Actually, this whole middle section is all ice creams and ice cream cakes as well. Oh, very nice. Why don't we have these stores where I live? They're always somewhere else. Milka ice cream bars. And have a look. Bounty ice cream. As you're looking at a lot of these things, let me know in the comments. Do you know some of these products? Have you seen them at your local shop? Are they very normal? Frozen peas and carrots and things like that. And then even frozen pizza. Why? You can get pizza right at the cafeteria, and they've got them frozen here. There's even frozen shrimp and fish as well. And even some salmon. So these are just defrostable and then you cook them. And then how convenient, after you get your piece of salmon, you've got a fridge here with chilled beers as well. And there's actually one cola in the fridge, I'm not sure why, but all of the beers. Up here we can see Mexican Corona. We can see from Italy, Peroni. And then I think Japanese is Asahi. I can never pronounce that correctly. There's quite a few German beers here as well. So that one question I'm going to have for everybody is, how does this 24-hour convenience store or supermarket compared to where you live? Is your local 24-hour shop like this? Please answer that in the comments, and it'll be interesting to read everybody's feedback on that. I also want to show you some of the different drinks or sodas right here and all of the countries that they represent. Arizona iced tea, of course, very well-known, famous American brand, actually from New York. And then from Italy, I think most people know the fruit drink. The brand slips my mind as I'm literally staring at it. And then, of course, there is all of the classic Russian ones on these bottom couple of shelves. And then we've got Dr. Pepper here from America. And then there is actually Coca-Cola here from China and from Poland. And then there is also one here from Kazakhstan. Again, you can see that white label, which signifies that it's an imported product and not domestically available. So the products are coming literally from everywhere. And then Red Bull, of course. So a lot of these foreign brands that we can see on the shelves. All of the water and drinks, these are pretty much all Russian produced. I think the only one up here from Georgia. Actually, there is also Pellegrino. So there is the Italian water also right there. It would be interesting to know what the percentage of snack food or treats are in here versus traditional food that you could physically cook, because there's so many items that are literally grab and go and open and eat. And I want to show you here one from England. This is wagon wheels all the way from Great Britain or the UK. And then Haribo, I was struggling to find the country of origin of these ones. Usually it's Spain, Germany or Hungary. So they actually have factories in different countries in Europe. So I'm not sure on that one where they were from. And then all of the Lay's products, these are actually all produced in Russia, and they're all still completely locally manufactured. They've actually got the new flavors as well. There's the Tom Yum flavored Lay's. They have seasonal flavors that come out every 3 or 6 months. So many snacks. I just noticed in the corner of my eye, Pringles. Now, Pringles said that they left Russia perhaps last year at some point, and they no longer are in Russia. And then here they are. These ones are actually produced in England. And I was just looking on the bottom right here, and they were manufactured in May of this year. So literally they're only a couple of months old. Now, if someone can tell me in the comments, how do British Pringles reach Moscow and get on the shelf right here in a brand new supermarket that opened last week? That's my question for everybody. They have a small alcohol section as well. Now, when I was reading up on this store before I came here today, they said they weren't going to have this initially when they open, and they have it already fully stocked. And it's basically a pared down version of what would be in a full supermarket. However, they've still got a nice selection. I mean, a little bit of everything. You can see down here Johnny Walker Red, very world famous whiskey, sold in every country of the world except Scotland. There's a fun fact for you. And then more beers. So we saw them already in the refrigerated fridge, and then here they are at room temperature. So the one thing that's quite normal in Russia is beer is sold in single cans or bottles. That way you can not have to get a 6-pack or a case of something, and you can happily just get one of something rather than buying a box of them. And lots of imported beers as well, not just domestically available. So this is really quite a very nice selection, really. They've even got the bigger litre bottles at the bottom, and then I think this is a 5-litre can right there. So you can get literally anything you like. Also in the fridge with the beer, they've got them chilled as well. And we come around to some everyday items. Of course, these are all very classic items that you can get in any supermarket. I don't notice anything overly unique. I'm sure perhaps 1 or 2 of these items may be imported and not domestic. A lot of brands were manufactured in Russia forever. And then 2 years ago, when everybody decided that they don't want to do that, and yet what they're doing now is they're allowing them to get to the shelves in Russia through parallel importing. So however they get here, they're on the shelf. The other thing that's quite nice about this place, it's got this mini cafe area, and you're able to basically buy the food at the counter or some of the food from the fridges, and then bring it over here and sit and have lunch. And then have a look under the table here. They've also got the sockets. They've got Type-C and USB sockets. So that's really nice if you want to sit down and charge your phone or computer. And then part of the little mini cafe, they've actually got a microwave here. So if you buy some of the refrigerated food, you can literally put it in the microwave. And I'm going to test everybody's knowledge. Now, depending on where you're from in the world, let me know what that thing right in front of you is. Somebody post in the comments, why would it be in the shop and what do they use it for? As I almost come to the end of the walk around, I am super curious where you live. Now, of course, if you're not aware, I'm an Australian living here in Moscow, and I make videos about life here in Moscow and in Russia. And a lot of my videos are about supermarkets and shops. I worked in shops since I was 14 years old. And before coming to Russia, I was working in supermarkets doing merchandising and retailing. And this is why there's so many of these videos on the channel. It's not just another supermarket. This is the only one in Russia of this type and this concept. And the plan is to, of course, have more of them at some point and expand what we see. Now, the one thing that I didn't realize at the time when I just ordered a hot dog, and there's the menu right here, these very nice hot dogs, is this actual chain, Yandex Lavka, actually do home delivery of food. And essentially, this is their first offline store. And everything that you see in this store, barring the alcohol, can be ordered online for delivery. And depending on where you live, the quickest delivery time is 14 minutes from clicking the order to getting it to your house. Now, where I live in Moscow region, it's around about 30 to 40 minutes if I want to order something for delivery. However, you can actually order the hot dogs and pizza and even the coffee and donuts, and they'll deliver them to you exactly at the same time as ordering food or normal supermarket things. How cool is that? Now, I didn't know that was even possible until they pointed that out to me. As I head on out of the store, I really hope you've enjoyed this video. And if you're in Moscow and you're interested to come to this store, I'm going to put a link in the description of where it is. Now, it took me a little while for me to find this, and this store has been open for 1 week. And the lady at the counter was telling me that even when they opened, that nobody knew about it until the day of opening. They kept it a secret. They didn't invite the media and the press, and even I didn't know about it until yesterday. And I thought I had to come and make that video or this video here as I walk past some very nice cars right next to me. Yeah, if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. That'll be really nice. Post a comment. Does your 24-hour convenience store look like the Yandex Lavka that I've just walked out of? Please let me know where you're from and how you would compare it to your local 24-hour shop. I mean, it is a supermarket. However, it's a very scaled down supermarket with all of the most popular items, especially of the non-ready food things. So you can still get all your basic flour, sugar, eggs, milk, everything like that. No worries at all. Yeah. If you want to follow me on Telegram, my link is right here. And then if you want to see an old video, I'm going to find an interesting supermarket video for you to watch so you can compare this shop with another one and you can keep traveling with Russell. Okay, everybody, I'm off on another adventure. Bye.